Potential is a word that has become synonymous with Gohan, Broly and Frieza in modern Dragon Ball. And with this fact, the question of who has the most potential between these three arose, and it has become quite a debate for a while in the Dragon Ball community, which for the most part is polarizing, as everyone has their own rationalization for the character they pick as having the highest potential. So before we determine who has the highest potential, we first have to understand why these characters are perceived by fans to have high potential in the first place. The reason why they are so often seen as having high potential is because compared to Goku and Vegeta, who are the literal definition of hard work and power through struggle, these three characters have shown the capacity to be able to surpass Goku and Vegeta in a much shorter time frame with way less effort and low quality training. So number one, when determining who has the highest potential between Gohan, Broly and Frieza, we have to look at who has shown the ability to get stronger much faster than the other two. Number two, these characters have not trained equal amount of time in their lifetimes, so we also have to base our conclusion on who still has more to learn and the most room to grow. In each category, the one who ranks highest scores 3 points, second scores 2 points, and the last place will only get 1 point. Therefore, the one who gets the highest score at the end obviously has the highest potential in my opinion. First off, we have Broly, who I immediately give 3 points in this category, because his means of tapping into his dormant abilities allows him to grow in power much faster than Gohan or Frieza. He can access his hidden power just by getting mad in fights, which is so much faster than Gohan and Frieza, who just have to bust their asses off with intense training just to unlock their innate power. Broly's power works in a way which we have never seen before in Dragon Ball, because he begins at a very low level around base Goku or Vegeta, and as the fight progresses, his power level explodes and it grows so exponentially that it surpasses both of them in their Super Saiyan Blue forms by thousands of times over, all in a matter of 3 hours or so. So you can even argue that Broly's full power transformation multiplier is comparable or even greater than that of Mastered Ultra Instinct Goku's multiplier. This is because full power Broly, although he was getting dominated, Gogeta in his blue form was failing to one-shot him. He had to wear him down with numerous ki blasts. Broly just ate all of that and was still after more smoke from Gogeta. Not only is Broly's potential faster to tap into, it is more advantageous because when a fight is not in his favor, he still has the possibility to catch up and come out on top if he is not stopped on time. So the 2 points for the second place go to Gohan in this category, because his style of unleashing his potential is mixed between both rage and training, which is a hybrid of Frieza's method and Broly's method of tapping into their potential. Obtaining power through rage has been a consistent thing with Gohan's power. Firstly, as a 4-year-old, he was able to explode his power level through rage to go from abysmally low levels to being able to knock the wind out of Reddit, who had the power level to blow up a moon easily, to also getting a rage boost again in Namek, which allowed him to box with the strongest being in the universe at that time, Frieza, a man capable of destroying a planet with enough force to destroy a small star and laugh while doing so. This all came together when he fought Cell to create his most iconic rage moment, known as Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. Although Gohan has had these rage moments throughout his life, most of them would not be as effective without the efforts he puts into training. But Gohan's most insane jump in power, which I believe is a perfect example to showcase how fast Gohan is able to gain power, came right before the Tournament of Power. While training with Piccolo, he was able to reawaken his battle power, which took him from Buu Saga level to being able to put up somewhat of a fight against Super Saiyan Blue Goku, and even in the Tournament of Power, he was able to contest with Dispo, a fighter that gave the likes of Hit a difficult time, meaning in a matter of hours, Gohan was able to get millions of times stronger, leapfrogging the Battle of God Saga and going all the way to Tournament of Power Goku levels. And if this is how much Gohan grew in that short space of time, imagine if he trained for the 7 years between the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga. He would have easily folded Buu and become stronger than Battle of Gods Goku in his God form. This leads me into Frieza being the lowest in this category, simply because it took him 4 months of training to surpass a resurrection of F Blue Goku. It is quite obvious that Frieza's boost was way more astronomical than Gohan's, but it took him 4 months. Whereas Gohan's surge is also huge, but it took less than a day for him to gain. The last reason I placed him at last place is the fact that Frieza's power has not been shown to be able to grow suddenly or rapidly outside of training situations. It is only limited to a formula of effort equals power. Therefore, this causes his power to be stagnant once he gains a certain level of power, and it does not get spikes of power out of nowhere. This is unlike Gohan and Broly, who have the ability to just get mad and gain power mid-combat. It's funny when you realize that Beast Gohan vs Black Frieza was a fierce debate when Frieza had to bust his ass training, yet Gohan just got mad and unlocked his new form that potentially rivals even Frieza.
This is awesome!
When we look at who has the most room to grow, we have to look at who has done the least amount of training, yet has gained the immense power that they have today. Not only that, but the quality of training that they have received matters, because some people are gonna argue that Broly has trained for his entire life, therefore he should be the lowest on this list. But we all know that the training which he has done, it just stinks, and it doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. So obviously, Broly comes in first place with 3 points in this category as well. This is because compared to Gohan and Frieza, Broly's journey of power is just beginning. This man grew up on Vampa fighting weak alien bug creatures which provided little to no challenge for him. These creatures were simply too weak to push him to grow stronger. And this is coupled with the fact that his father Pericus was very weak to give him meaningful training. So although his training with Broly was present, it was not of high quality as stated before. It is even stated by Frieza himself that training with someone of Pericus' caliber is meaningless. This means that without any real or meaningful training, Broly's base form passively grew to become as strong as that of Goku and Vegeta after the Tournament of Power. And during their battle, he was able to become so strong that he surpassed both of them in their Super Saiyan Blue states, and that was just his first serious fight of his life. So there is a lot of growth and learning still ahead for Broly, and recently this is slowly coming to fruition with Broly's training on Beerus' planet just beginning. And from the looks of it, Goku is still training him in the basics of ki control so that when he fights he doesn't just nuke everything around him. This is most likely going to lead to Broly being able to tap into his Ikari and Super Saiyan transformation at will. And Broly having control over his Super Saiyan transformations would be deadly, because his Super Saiyan transformation, it was already stronger than Blue Goku and Vegeta. So just imagine if on top of that, Broly learns the God forms, which are Super Saiyan Blue and God respectively. He would be unstoppable given that the gap in power multipliers between the first Super Saiyan transformation and Super Saiyan God or Blue is far apart, it's just day and night. And besides training to increase raw power, Broly is yet to gain battle experience, and there is knowledge to be gained there as well, because battle IQ is something that is honed through the heat of battle. Zenkai boosts are another broken Saiyan ability which Broly is yet to utilize. For example, on Namek, Goku arrived to the power level of 90,000, then with one Zenkai boost, his power shot up to 3 million, which is a 33 times amp that was able to make him ready to take on final form Frieza. Given that Broly is yet to fight more serious battles in his life, the power of Zenkai boosts will still be an asset for his growth in the future, as he's never been through many fights that push him to the limit like the battle against Gogeta. After that, Gohan is second place again with 2 points. Now Gohan has done his fair share of training throughout his life, but nowhere near the amount of training Frieza has done with his recent 10 years. Gohan is very lazy and rarely ever trains, yet his power has shot up to be in the realms of UI Goku and UE Vegeta. Let's look at all the amount of training Gohan has done and quantified into years. First of all, it is the 1 year of training where Piccolo was preparing him for the arrival of the Saiyans. He only trained for 1 year and was barely above 1,000 in terms of power level, which is still impressive because Gohan began his training at the power level of below 10. Then on Namek, which literally happened a month after the Saiyans invasion, Gohan is confirmed to have arrived on Namek with a power level of 1550. When it was time to face off against Frieza in the final act of the saga, he had the power level of 200,000 as confirmed by the guidebooks. So his rage boost in battle got him as strong enough to harm Frieza, who had a power level higher than 1 million. And after that, Gohan got beaten by Frieza. He later got healed by Dende, therefore making him about 2 times stronger from the Zenkai boost, which is about 400,000 in terms of his new power level. This power is then amplified and shown in his next rage amp against third form Frieza, where he pressed him with an energy blast, and this Frieza was about 1,500,000 in terms of power level. This immediately shows us how broken Gohan was, because just having trained once in his life at this point, followed by the intense battles and adaptations of planet Namek, he went from a kid with a power level of less than 10 to a rage taking him to the millions in terms of power. The crazy fact is that this all happened in less than 2 years. Meaning at his highest rage boost, Gohan was 800 times stronger than he was at the beginning of the Namek arc, all in a few days. And after the Namek arc, you have him training with Goku and Piccolo for 3 years in preparation for the androids, as well as an additional year in the time chamber with Goku. After that, going all the way to the time he trained with Piccolo before the Tournament of Power. He never trained for a lengthy amount of time, such as he did in Dragon Ball Z. At best, he could add a year on top of his training, which Gohan has done in Dragon Ball Super, which will all add up to 6 years of training throughout his life. Yet he's so strong, he's even argued to be stronger than Ultra Instinct Goku or even Black Frieza, who has trained 11 years and 4 months in total during his lifetime, which I'll just explain shortly. So I could see some arguments in favor of Frieza, saying it took Gohan 5 years of training to be Super Saiyan 2 level in the Cell Saga. Therefore Frieza is higher, as it only took him 4 months to gain a much larger boost. But one thing you have to remember is that potential is also reliant on age. The potential that Gohan has now is not as the same as he had as a kid. For example, take your 13-year-old self and your 25-year-old self. Even if you were to train boxing under the same teacher, with the same routine, the same exercises and the same ferocity and the same dedication, the maximum fighting potential you could reach for each respective age is vastly different. So the same applies for Gohan. He may have not gained astronomical gains like Frieza as a kid compared to when he's an adult, but that's normal as potential is not stagnant. Things like age and race are a contributing factor to potential in Dragon Ball, and this is further backed up by the fact that Gohan has had his potential unlocked twice in his life, yet he continues to grow stronger. The conclusion to this is that, in my opinion, Gohan still has a lot to learn and more hidden power to unlock compared to Frieza, as he has trained way less than him at this point. And if Gohan was to train 4 years in the time chamber to equalize the amount of time trained between him and Frieza's lifetime, I have no doubt in my mind that Gohan is walking out of the chamber leagues stronger than Black Frieza. Now, in Frieza's case, it was first off his 4 months of training beating Tagoma over and over again, which was able to get him from Namek Saga level to stronger than post Battle of God Saga Super Saiyan Blue Goku, after he'd gone through the ridiculous amps of a failed Super Saiyan God ritual, as well as absorbing the God form into his base and training under Whis on top of that, followed by his mental training in Hell, where he envisioned himself killing Goku in his mind hundreds of times over in a space of a year, which is counted as training, hence adding that year of training to his track record, the one mentioned before. So by doing this for over a year, Frieza managed to get at least 10 times stronger. Evidence for this is the fact that Goku in his rematch against Hit was able to win without using the Kaioken times 10, proving that he got 10 times more powerful from the event of the Universe 6 vs 7 tournament until their eventual rematch. So going with this reasoning does not really contradict anything, as it is highly possible Goku was receiving Zenkai boosts in the Goku Black Saga due to taking L after L after L. Nonetheless, this all comes to the conclusion that Frieza was able to clash equally with Goku pre-Tournament of Power, proving that he got at least 10 times stronger with mental training in Hell, and possibly even more than that, as 10 times is a bare minimum estimation. Lastly is his most recent ascension in power, his Black Frieza form, which was obtained after 10 years of rigorous training. This power creep is Frieza's most earned and deserved power up, because 10 years with Frieza's monstrous potential is enough to justify him being able to one-shot Gas as well as Goku in their strongest forms using his newly obtained power. So this ends with BROLY at first place with 6 points, Gohan at number 2 with 4 points, and lastly Frieza with 2 points. So although Frieza is a monster in terms of potential, Gohan and BROLY are just built different, having shown the ability to gain power much faster than Frieza, and not only that, but both of them still have a lot to learn compared to Frieza, as they have done way less training, yet they are comparable or even in the conversation to be pitted against his black form.